here's Brody Brazil.
Whether it's a question or a comment or a thought or an idea for a video here on the channel, I would love for you to contribute anytime you want. Call 24/7 8334-BRODY. Don't worry, nobody picks up. It goes straight to voicemail. You leave a great message, and then I get to play it back and respond to it here on the channel.
Hey, Brody. I'm Anthony from Los Angeles, California. And my question is just kind of more about the American sports landscape in general. Basically, do you think there's room for more major sports leagues to thrive in the U.S. beyond just the established Big Four? A lot of people talk about MLS being a possible fifth, but even with soccer's popularity through foreign leagues like the Premier League and Liga MX, it hasn't really fully broken through into that, cementing itself into that number 5.
Agreed.
So with newer leagues like Major League Rugby, Major League Cricket, the Premier Lacrosse League, could any of those grow into something bigger? Or is there more of a hard cap on how many major leagues the American sports market could realistically support? Thanks for all your help, and thank you.
No, Anthony, thank you for the support of the channel and the call and bringing up a great topic that turns out to be a pretty good conversation. And also, thank you for doing the thought and research of mentioning what I think are, let's just put it this way, like auxiliary leagues. It's not to disrespect lacrosse or rugby or cricket, but here in North America, I mean, they just fall in kind of more of that exotic category. They're outside of the Big Four, as you say, which I agree. There are a Big Four group that do exist: football, baseball, basketball, and hockey. And what's crazy even about the Big Four is that when I was growing up, it was in a different order. I think we could all agree right now that football is king, basketball is doing quite well, baseball is somewhere behind those two, and then hockey is actually not far behind baseball right now. When I was growing up, baseball was number 1. I think football was probably behind that. Football and basketball were close, and hockey was a lot lower, at least here in the United States, and especially in the Western United States. Hockey has grown, basketball has grown, football has shot right through the roof, fantasy sports, betting, you name it, and baseball has kind of shrunk and sunk a little bit. So even the Big Four, right? If we're ranking the Big Four, and what are we ranking them on? Revenue, popularity, I guess overall prestige. If that's what we're basing this on, then I think football is number 1, and like I just said, basketball, baseball, and hockey are behind it. But you could even make the argument, and a lot of people do, that college football is actually ahead of the NBA on that prestige list of the Big Four. Like it should go NFL, college football, then basketball, then the rest. But also, to your point, what about MLS? What about golf? What about NASCAR? What about F1? There are all these other things that don't fit into the mold of the Big Four, but they also take up a lot of attention and time, and they generate money here in North America with the casual and the hardcore fan. So it's a great question. Is there enough bandwidth for the typical sports fan in the United States to actually support everything else outside the Big Four? Could any of these other things jump into a Big 5 or Big 6 type situation? And I'm not even leaving much room here for rugby or cricket or other flavors of sports. Again, these are just kind of the next wave, that next tier of sports leagues and sports in general. And what's crazy is all of these things do well. Golf does tremendous. NASCAR does well. F1 does well. College football does really well. College basketball does really well. We're not even talking about the WNBA here, right? So there are a bunch of other things that exist that I just don't know if they'll ever be able to crack in our lifetime the Big Four. They can exist, they can do well, but I agree with you almost on this unwritten observation. Nobody talks about this, nobody mentions it, but I don't know if anything is ever going to be included in that Big Four group. It's hard for anything else to get to the level of popularity because it takes time. It also takes exposure. It takes a platform. It takes revenue. I just don't know if any one of these things are going to grow in our lifetimes to be part of the Big Four. Now, that's not to say it'll never happen. I'm just saying that generationally, like your parents' parents probably watched football and basketball and played baseball to some degree. And hockey is growing, especially here in the United States. Obviously, it's been generational in Canada for a long time, part of North America. But if we're just talking about the United States, hockey is still growing to that generational degree. it's going to take generations for anything to jump into the Big Four. But again, I'm actually here to tell you that Big Four is really more like an overall 8, right? When you factor in MLS, golf, NASCAR. Now, in terms of soccer, because I know you mentioned that and that was very specific, soccer in America is always going to be a tough one because the biggest and best leagues do not exist here, will likely never exist here. Could you imagine a Premier League team somewhere in the United States? Would they ever allow that to happen? Probably not, but it's crazy because here the NFL is saying, well, we might expand to Germany or have a team in London or, put a team in Spain. Like, the United States sports leagues are kind of interested in jumping across the pond, whereas I don't think the top soccer leagues have any interest in sporting a team stateside. So the problem with soccer, to your point, is that it's always going to be a lower level, a lower league. And I mean, we could even talk about the recent MLS All-Star game where Leo Messi just decided my schedule's too busy. MLS is always going to have that little sibling problem. I wish it didn't. Quite honestly, I wish it didn't. The hard part about all those other leagues is that the NFL is, well, not the only, but the best football league in the world. NBA is the best basketball league in the world. NHL is the best hockey league in the world. Baseball's the best MLB is the best baseball league in the world. But in terms of soccer, it's like, well, that's an okay one, but it's not that. So MLS is always going to have that kind of that thing looming over its head. It makes it difficult for all the others to survive when the Big Four are really that big. And they've got all the TV contracts, and they take up all the airtime, and they take up all the money of the networks. I mean, there are so many networks now climbing to the top of the NFL that they want to be part of the NFL so bad that they just don't have room to show a cricket test or a rugby match or a tennis match. I didn't even put tennis on here. Like, tennis doesn't even exist on here. The point is, the NFL has swollen so big, and the Big Four are so big. I think to summarize all of this, it's pretty impossible for anything else to ever be as big as those Big Four in our lifetime. Let me know what you think. I know I went on way too long there, but I wanted to get that out. Let me know what you think about all that. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. Thumbs up for this video. Greatly helps me, the video, and the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that button. I'd love to see you back here next time.